Hey guys, welcome back as always. My name is Lazar and the Melee plus Gun Dev Workshop is just right around the corner. We're gonna get it tomorrow, June 18th. Now this will include the Parazon Kills Rework and the Helminth system expansion. Now I don't know if you follow up with dev streams or if you follow up with news on forums. Believe it or not, my friends, there's actually a small amount of the community that legitimately cares about these things and goes on forums, posts, reads, and watches the actual dev stream. And you should, you know why? Well, while reading on a forum may be not super fun and exciting, watching a dev stream is when you're going to be getting all the brand new juicy information about upcoming content, such as this one. Now, right now in Warframe, the status quo is kind of like this. If you want to do what some players refer to as endgame content, this would be something like Steel Path, super high level. They want to face level 1000, 2000, 3000 enemies like I did with Gara, for example. In the most recent Gara Prime build. Look at the cards right now. I had to do it. You gotta go for melee weapons. Okay, simply because melee right now is a lot more easier to use, is a lot more comfortable, and it has scaling damage. And having scaling damage means theoretically you can stay in as long as your heart desires. The primary culprit being condition overload. Range weapons, not so much. Well, not so much. We don't have scaling damage for range weapons. And don't get me wrong, there are a couple of weapons that can deal with Steel Path enemies without any issues whatsoever. However, you don't have that scaling power. What are you going to do with range weapons when you're meeting level 1000 enemies? Not a whole lot. That's the underlying issue. Now, normally, or back in the day, melee, in order to get some of the more powerful attacks out, had to do all these cool kind of combos, but because of the current meta, all you gotta do is spam one button. And that's a bit of an issue, especially considering that it can get to crazy high levels of attack speed. And don't get me wrong, I love myself some Dragon Ball, but that's just silly. So how would you fix the current issue in Warframe? Range weapons are completely outclassed by melee weapons. Melee weapons don't really require any kind of skill or special preparation to actually get their damage out, and while you do still need to aim most of your range weapons, they don't really carry a big enough punch. One fix would be obviously, dude, add scaling damage to range and be done with it. It should be fine, right? But would it really? And how would you actually add scaling damage to range weapons? Because honestly, for this vid, I wanted to come up with a proposed solution. Hey, this might work. You know, this might work. And I've been thinking about it for over a week, and I couldn't come up with a system that dealt high amounts of damage, was scalable, and wasn't highly exploitable. If that makes any sense. A system that is not easily exploited to deal stupid amounts of damage easily. Because right now, that's the state of melee weapons if you think about it. You don't really need to do anything special for your melee. You spam one button, you destroy everything. There's no combos, there's no aiming involved. With range weapons, you do have aiming, depending on the weapon that you're using. Of course, some will bring up the Arca Blast more. And there are ways to keep weapons such as that in check. For example, like the remove the headshot multiplier. I guess you could increase the power of range weapons based on what part of the enemy you're shooting, but that's not really gonna work all that well either, because let's be honest, in Warframe our enemies are not exactly all standard humanoid necessarily, and again, a system like that could be easily exploited, but at least you would have to aim for certain body parts. That would be something. So my friends, again, I turn to you. How would you fix the current range damage system? What would you add to it? What kind of solution do you propose? By all intents and purposes, please let your comments in the section down below. As for the Helminth system, my friends, this has been a breath of fresh air from my point of view. It's an amazing system, one that patched big issues with Warframe. Think about it, there's a lot of Warframes, I mean basically almost all of them. I think I can name the Warframes that make use out of all their default abilities on one hand. But the Helminth system comes in to remove some of those dead abilities that a lot of Warframes have, and you can put on something that you're actually gonna use, something useful. Another Warframe's ability or the default abilities that come with the Helminth system, and I cannot wait to see what they're gonna do with this expansion. As for Parazon kills, honestly, I don't know about Parazon kills. I don't know about the whole Parazon kill system thing. It's cool as a concept, but there's already so much going on in Warframe. I wish we could focus first on getting our damage systems right, and then on the cherries on top and all whatnot. We're gonna find out tomorrow what the developer has in store for us, and historically speaking, what you see in these dev workshops is usually what transpires into game. No matter the feedback on them, most of the time they don't really do any changes to it, and they just slap it onto the game. So I'm really hoping it's gonna be something good. Of course, we're gonna be taking a look at it, try to analyze it, and kind of predict what's going to happen. But more on that tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, favorite, channel, and subscribe if you enjoy the content. If you got any sorts of feedback for me, by all means, drop it in the comment section down below. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!